Okay. Spartan God, what is good? Yes, yet another stream today. What is good, everybody? It is your boy Lincoln Clay coming back at you yet again. What is that? That's actually two streams today, Spartan God. But I guess if you want to include what I've done with the roundtable last night, that is three streams within 24 hours. And the crazy part about it was I wanted to join Ryan's podcast yesterday, but I took a nap that went about 3 hours. So by the time I got up, his podcast was over. Ben Taylor, what is up? Oh dog, what is going on? Let me go through the propers. You know the deal. Hit the like button, hit the bell icon. The rest will take care of itself. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the content. So, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I just watched a video from Griffin Gaming, and apparently he was having problems with his Xbox One X. I guess it started with Black Ops. He was going through a phase where he would play the game. Craig Harris, what is up? This is going to be kind of a rant podcast. And what I'm about to say in this podcast is pretty much going to talk about talk about the biggest reasons why I want Microsoft out of the console business, why I want them gone. You're welcome to join this podcast if you want, but a lot of the shit that I have to say is not going to be nice. This, Griffin Gaming experience is, like I said in the description, is a long list of anti-consumer practices from a company that's famous for it. And, it's just to the point where, they just got to go, Craig. They have to go. Adam Wilson, what is up? So, if you want to come in and listen to T'Challa rant, I'll open the dome for you. You know the proper flight pattern. I'll send you the coordinates. But T'Challa is not in a good mood. But if you want to come in and listen to this, I'll gladly send you the link. The one named Shadow, what is up? And oh my God, it's just I swear to God, after what I'm about to say today, no Xbox can come in here damage controlling. If they do, I will take their left ass cheek, because I do not want to hear any damage controlling today for this company. Throughout these last couple of years, I've tried to keep my personal experience. All right, Craig. Throughout the last couple of years, I have tried to keep my personal feelings out of it and try to say that I want them gone, for the lies that they have told, lie after lie after lie. The fact of the matter is their customer service is terrible, and they make no bones about, releasing a broken product. And when this rant is over, at some point during this rant, I'm going to tell you how you can protect yourself if you're dumb enough to buy an Xbox. But let's get on what happened to Griffin Gaming first. Let's get on with what what's up, Halo Storm. Let's get on with EJ Johnson. What is up? Spartan God, I said what's up to you. Adam Wilson, what's up? So what happened with Griffin Gaming, like I said, his Xbox One X, basically after he downloaded Black Ops 4 into his Xbox, whenever he played that game, about a half an hour into playing the game, his Xbox was shutting off. It was powering off. Yeah, Ben Taylor, that's the best way to protect yourself is don't buy they shit. But if you dumb enough to buy they shit, I'm going to let you know how you can protect yourself. Uncompetitive, what's up? So he went through your normal procedures, unplugging the shit, plugging it back up. And he was still having the problems. Now, what makes it even more fucked up was that after he put Red Dead Redemption into his Xbox, the problems got worse. You know, sometimes it was shutting off. His Xbox was shutting off right after he turns it back on. And so he called Microsoft, and basically Microsoft told him that it would take 14 to 28 days for him to get his Xbox back once they receive it. So he tried to talk to them about getting a replacement. They gave him the runaround. He wanted to speak to a manager. They gave him a runaround. I put the link to that video. I put the link to his video in the description. So for those who want to hear it from his mouth, blow by blow, I put the link in the description. So I encourage you to go watch that video. You know, my experience with Microsoft was worse than what he went through. But again, management gave him the runaround. He was trying to see about, well, can you replace it? And they gave him the runaround about that and said that they changed their policies towards replacements and basically made it sound like we're going to go through every effort to fix your Xbox first. And if we can't get it fixed first, then we'll replace it. That's me. See, you said Microsoft need to get the fuck out of here of consoles and focus on PC. Like seriously, what they did to Griffin is disgusting. Hey, does me see? Wait till you hear my story. What they did to me during the 360 generation. I've told this story more than once. I haven't told it in quite a while because I was starting to sound like a broken record. But it's time for me to go ahead and talk about this again and talk about why I want these motherfuckers out of here. So, Spartan God, y'all had gaming issues with Microsoft. I had PC issues. They literally wiped all my shit off. Like I said, these motherfuckers got to go. So, anyway, basically, Microsoft basically was telling them that they're not going to replace his shit unless they absolutely cannot fix his shit. And so he felt like, okay, he wanted a refund on his Red Dead game because he can't play the game and it's no fault of his own. So he wanted a refund on his Red Dead. And again, they gave him a runaround about their policies as to why they couldn't give him a refund on his Red Dead Redemption. So now he is absolutely livid. He said he is done with Microsoft. He is never buying another Microsoft product again. I don't know if he means that or not, but that's still, you know, that was still shocking, you know, for a guy that Emmy, what's up? Arian Drake, what's up? That's still a little bit shocking from a guy who made it clear that the Xbox was his preferred platform. No, I ain't bullshitting, sick. I put the link in the description. Go into the description and check out Griffin's video. Microsoft fucked them over. He said, you know, he said he is done with them. He said he is never buying another Microsoft product again. And, you know, even though Griffin even though the Xbox is his preferred platform, I had a lot of respect for him. Hey, you know, sick. Hey, you know, no problem, man. As much content as you provide for me, sick, while I'm at work. Hey, bro, this is the least I can do. So I hope this is helping to pass the time while you're at work. You said Griffin Gaming had a wake-up call. G Junior, basically, I put the link in the description, but basically what happened is, you know, his Xbox One X basically took a dump, or it's on the verge of, you know, being done completely. He contacted Microsoft. They told him it'd be about a month to get his shit fixed after they received the console, and they gave him the runaround about replacing his console, and they gave him the runaround about giving him a refund for Red Dead Redemption 2, since he said, you know, his logic is that I haven't had a chance to play the game, and my Xbox taking a dump is no fault of my own. He said he didn't drop it, he didn't spill a drink on it. You know, he didn't run it into the dirt. So he feels like his console should be replaced, and they're giving him the runaround about it. And they are giving him the runaround about replacing his, giving him a refund on Red Dead Redemption 2. Now, so when this generation started, already had a serious dislike for Microsoft anyway because of what I experienced from them through the 360 generation. Now let's go back. Let's go back to the 360 generation. Everybody knows about the red ring of death. Everybody and their mama knows about that. Even people who are casual gamers that only pick up a controller once a year knows about the red ring of death. You said you asked Griffin Gaming to name 3 PC exclusives uncompetitive. Hey, you know, hey, whatever, you know. Sick Humor, you said if he had it at launch, you know, if they had it at launch, then he is out of warranty. They don't have to do anything. I don't know why they won't refund it. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm going to explain to people why, if you are dumb enough to buy an Xbox, how to protect yourself. So now let's go back to this 360 thing. Now, shit, you know, before I get into my experience, I was listening to One Stop for Gamers podcast, and they told a couple of stories about the red ring of death. Now, let me tell you what the stories they had. One Stop said that he bought a Xbox 360. 2 days later, it caught the red ring. You know, naturally, Microsoft, I guess, gave him the runaround too. And then to make it even more fucked up, one of the guests on his panel said he waited in line for 10 hours to buy an Xbox 360. When he got it home and hit the power button, the red rings instantly lit up. It never powered on. The day that he got it, waited 10 hours in line. And see, he said he was lucky enough that one of his boys had bought 2 360s and let him use one until he got his shit straightened out. So I didn't know that people was having problems with the 360s at launch. I knew that the 360, the red rings of death, was becoming a problem a couple of months into the life cycle of the console. And what I was hearing, let me read a couple of y'all comments before I go on. You know, the one named Shadow, the problem with the red ring of death situation that they took until the Slim to fix that issue. And you know, and I'm going to get to, you know, and see stuff like that. It doesn't bother me that it took them a while to fix the problem. What bothered me about the situation is what made them finally get off of their ass and fix it, because they weren't going to take care of the situation. So anyway, the red ring situation did not kind of hit my ears until a couple of months into the life cycle of the 360. And, you know, turn that down. Thank you. So please excuse me, folks. So back to this red ring situation. Now, the internet, you know, shit didn't spread across the internet back then the way it does now. If there's a problem now with a product or a situation, it only takes minutes for it to spread across the internet. Now, the situation back then, see, what I was hearing that was going on back then with the red rings of death was that Microsoft was not replacing people's consoles. Microsoft was doing all kinds of bullshit. You know, not only did you have the red ring situation, you also had a situation where the disk drive was scratching rings into the disk, and Microsoft was not covering either of those. So what was going on was, from what I was hearing, people were calling Microsoft, and Microsoft was basically throwing the blame back at the customer for the red ring. Well, did you do this? Well, it's your fault. You're not supposed to do that. You know, did you make sure it was in a well-ventilated area? Well, then it's your fault. You're supposed to keep it ventilated. The shit with the console scratching the rings, that Microsoft was like, you know, did you stand it up? Yes, well, that's your fault. You're supposed to turn it off before you stand it up. Well, gee, Microsoft, thanks for telling people that when they buy the motherfucking console, that you're supposed to turn the shit off before you stand it up. Otherwise, your disc will get scratched and we are not going to replace it. Thanks for informing people that, Microsoft. Saris is great. They said, they said on average for every Xbox 360 owner had to buy 360 5 to 7 times before the smaller model release. Shit, that's another story, but I probably went through about 15 consoles that had the red rings of death. Why was I going through so many of them? Because after I caught on to what kind of company Microsoft was, basically I found a guy on Craigslist who repaired, red rings of death Xboxes. The only thing was he couldn't guarantee how long the fix would last. He said it might last a month, it might last 6 months, it might last a year. He couldn't guarantee it. So because of that, I went back and forth to this dude a lot of times, so a lot of 360s passed through my hands. Now, the only reason why I even stuck with the 360 throughout all that bullshit is because I was burning my own games and was not paying for them. If I had to pay for my own games, I would have dumped that 360 the very first time I caught the red rings of death, and it would have been PS3 all the way. I had a PS3. And I was playing, exclusives on that PS3, but everything else was on the 360 because I was burning my own games for it. And I didn't have a problem doing that. And I said that before in my podcast. I didn't have a problem doing that because of what Microsoft was doing. They burnt me, I'm gonna burn them. Lincoln, that is a known info. I have never, it will never own an Xbox, but I would never stand it up vertically with power on. See, but Microsoft didn't tell people that when the console first launched. They only started, and Microsoft didn't put out any kind of, billboard notice or any kind of bulletin that, hey, don't stand your, 360 up because it'll scratch the rings. It was word of mouth that people ended up finding that shit out. Oh, dog, you say you play your PS4 right now. I don't know. I don't remember where I put my Xbox One S. Fuck it. It's not important. So anyway, Microsoft was making all these excuses and would not honor these, these manufacturer warranties. So I could be wrong as to why Microsoft finally got up off their ass and started fixing the problem. But it seemed to me back then that a lot of people were disgusted with Microsoft and furious at them because these consoles were catching the red rings all over the place and Microsoft would not fix them. So people were getting livid with Microsoft and they were threatening to leave the platform and buy the upcoming PS3 when it launches, the following November or, whatever. So that's what prompted Microsoft, from my point of view, that's what prompted Microsoft to get up off their ass and finally address the red ring of death issue because people were threatening to jump over to the PlayStation brand. So now you get Microsoft releasing this statement saying that they care about what the customer thinks and blah, blah, blah. And then they were saying that, for those who caught the red rings, call customer service. They'll send you a box. You put your Xbox inside that box, send it back to them. They'll fix it and send it back to you. But they did, the only warning, the only thing that they were transparent about with that situation was they warned everybody, when you send your 360 back to Microsoft, take the hard drive off, because when they fix it, everything's going to get wiped out. So they was warning everybody, take the hard drive off so you don't lose any of your data. Halo Storm, I flipped a bottle of water and it landed on my PS4 and broke it too. Hey, if the cap wasn't on it and it spilled water on it, that's on you. But we talking about a defect straight from the factory, straight from the company itself, one that they knew about. So, like I said, people were threatening to buy PS3s, and that finally made Microsoft get up off their ass and address this issue with the red rings of death. So now, let me tell you about my story for the 1000th time. I bought a brand new Xbox 360. And I probably say that I don't know, I want to say maybe about a year after I bought the console, it caught the red rings of death. So what I tried to do was take it to Walmart, because I guess my Walmart at the time was, taking 360s back without receipts, because I guess they could look it up by the serial number. And I guess in my case, when they looked up the serial number, they basically was like, you didn't buy it here, so we can't do anything about it. Because I bought my 360 from Sears. So I tried to go the Walmart route first because I was hearing about Microsoft's customer support and just did not want to deal with them. So I tried the Walmart route first. So when that didn't work, I called Microsoft and everything went cool at first. They took down my information. They said, we're going to send you a box. They said, put the Xbox in the box, send it back, and we'll replace it. Sent it back. It took about 2 weeks for my Xbox to come back. When it came back, I opened it up. It was a dirty Xbox that looked like it had been laying around a junkyard. And it was in worse condition than the one that I sent. They sent me back a total piece of junk. So my thinking was, even if this Xbox is dirty and beat up, if the shit still works, then I'll live with it. So I plugged the thing up, and when it lit up, I popped the game in it, and I got this error message that said that something to the effect of that, this 360 will not play this disc. If you are trying to play a 360 game, please insert it now. Hey, I'm more than in my feelings right now, old dog. I mean, I'm heated just thinking about how Microsoft is a shiesty ass company like that, hardware wise. This is eventually leading up to why I want them to go. They have to go. So, Spartan God, what I want to silence and how I want to do it won't be nice. Oh, you must be okay, you must be going at it with somebody else. That's all right. That's totally over my head. Okay. Well, if y'all duking it out, I'll leave that to y'all, whatever y'all doing over there. So so let me go ahead and continue to talk about my experience with Microsoft. So they sent me back a beat up, dirty 360 that did not play games. It only played DVDs. So I called Microsoft back and said that the 360 you sent me was not the one that I sent you. You sent me back something different. It doesn't play games. It only plays DVDs. And they said, well, it'll cost you $100 to fix it. I was like, what the fuck? You telling me you sent me back a broken 360 and you want to charge me to fix it? And they was like, well, that's our policy, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, I want to speak to a manager right now. They put the manager on the phone. Long story short, I went the fuck off on his ass and I told him, I want the same 360 back that I sent you, not some beat up piece of shit that was somebody else's problem. I want my own shit back and I want it fixed. No problem. And they was like, we'll even give you a controller for your problems, for your troubles. And I said, I want a brand new controller. I don't want somebody else's worn out shit, because I had a bad feeling about that. No, it'll be a brand new controller. Sent the Xbox back. Same bullshit. It took like 2-3 weeks for the shit to come back. When it came back, I opened the box and it was the same broken 360 that did not play games and only played DVDs. When I plugged it back up, it was the same shit. It would not play games. It only played DVDs. So I dig further into the box. I pull out the controller, and the controller was worn out. It was so worn out that it had the smooth, glossy part on the controller from somebody's palm being on it from playing that shit day in and day out. I put batteries in that controller and pressed the the Xbox button for the controller to light up. The shit didn't even light up. They sent me a beat up, worn out controller that didn't even work. On top of sending me back the same old bullshit ass Xbox that wouldn't play games. After that, I said, I'm done with these motherfuckers. After that shit happened, That's why I was lobbying. Ever since that day, I lobbied for people not to buy the motherfucking Microsoft bullshit. And later, it came out that Microsoft knew that that shit had overheating problems. They knew about the fucking red rings, but they were so busy trying to get the jump on Sony that they put a product out there that they knew wasn't ready. So now, fast forward to this generation. When this generation first started, there was problems with the Xbox. You know, they tried to turn this shit into a prison box with the DRM, locking that fucking connect to the console, the 24-hour check-ins. And when people took a stand against it and they had to send that update through there, I think that update was an update that Xbox was not designed to receive. So now I'm hearing about people shit freezing up, locking up, bricking, all kinds of shit, you know, with the Xbox Ones. Party chats was crashing. Well, I don't feel bad for him. I don't feel bad. El Matador, I don't feel bad for Griffin. I'm not glad it happened to him either, but I don't feel bad for him. Sony doesn't have near that track record of defective consoles as Microsoft does. When the console first launched, of course, you're going to have a few consoles that's going to have a few problems, whatever. But like a 51% failure rate on the 360, and they knew about the red rings and they knew about the disk drive scratching up disks. All that shit to try to get a jump on Sony. I'm not going to say, Halo Storm, I'm not going to say that's what Griffin gets for owning an Xbox. But I will say now he knows what kind of company Microsoft is. See, the thing about it is all these Xbots, that fight the fight for Microsoft and jumped on Microsoft's side to vilify Sony for not doing crossplay, to vilify Sony when they put these little rinky-dink microtransactions on GT Sport, all the shit that they jump behind Microsoft to try to help vilify Sony, but they completely let shit like this they just turn a blind eye to that shit. And that's just to the tip of the iceberg of some of the shit that makes Microsoft a shady company. Earlier this year, Jay Wags had an experience that I had with Microsoft. Balls Mahoney, what's up? Earlier this year, Jay Wags went to go cancel his Game Pass membership. It wasn't something as simple as going to the dashboard and then just hit cancel membership. Reclaimer, what's up? He ended up having to go to the Microsoft website and go through a bunch of red tape and jump through a bunch of hoops to finally find his fucking account and take his credit card out of their network. The same shit happened to me. I couldn't just, when I was getting hit, I fucked around and bought these monthly Xbox Live memberships. And I kept forgetting to cancel the shit. So after about the 4th month, when I finally remembered to go cancel the shit, there was no cancel button at the dashboard. It was telling me I had to go to the Xbox website. Same bullshit. I go to the Xbox website. I cannot find my fucking account to delete this shit. I had to call up a friend and he had to walk me through this shit over the phone, step by step, to finally find my fucking credit card and take it out of their network. I tried to warn people about that shit earlier this year about motherfucking Game Pass. Once you put your credit card into their network, they're not going to let you out that easy. It's not going to be as simple as going to their goddamn dashboard and hit cancel. This shit going to tell you to go to their fucking website, and go through a fucking maze to find your shit. This is what it took to realize what a waste of time and money on an Xbox is. Sorry for Griffin Gaming. Like I said, I can't say that I feel sorry for him. Because when he bought that, I'm not going to say that's what he gets, but I'm not going to say that I feel sorry for him either. Because with him having a channel that was geared towards Xbox as his preferred platform, he knew about the problems that the Xbox One X was having when it launched. He knew about the problems with the 360. He knew that Microsoft was a company that has no bones about releasing a broken product in order to get the jump on the competition. That was the risk he took when he bought that Xbox One X. So in that aspect, I'm not going to say I feel sorry for him. But at the same time, I'm not going to say, oh, that's what he gets. So now, fast forward to this generation, fast forward to when the Xbox One X launched and people's shit was bricking. And Microsoft was coming up with all these dumbass excuses as to why people's shit was bricking. Oh, don't plug your shit into a power strip. Don't do this. Don't do that. You know, all of it was on the customer. They couldn't admit that that they shit was faulty in the beginning. It was all on the customer, what the customers was doing wrong. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't plug your shit up on this. And then the crazy part about it is I buy an Xbox One X for my son for Christmas. And while I'm hearing all these motherfucking stories about people's Xbox One X is fucking up, I'm sitting here terrified that my son's Xbox is going to take a shit on Christmas. And he's not going to be able to play his games on Christmas. That shit had me terrified. And the fucked up part about it was, and since Microsoft was claiming that the shit was sold out and all this other shit, you wasn't going to be able to just call them back and get another replacement within a couple of days, since they claiming that they pre-orders was sold out. But it took them a while to figure it out, but it turned out that the problem was isolated to the Scorpio edition. I got lucky there because I was going to buy my son the Scorpio edition, but Best Buy didn't have any. So my thinking was the Scorpio, all it was is the word Scorpio on the fucking console. It wasn't going to change your experience. So I just said, just give me the standard Xbox One X, because all that mattered to my son at the time was to be able to game in 4K. I've gotten lucky because my son has played this shit day in and day out, hours a day. He has not had a problem with his Xbox One X. I feel so fortunate, but at the same time, I was sweating bullets because I was terrified I was going to get that call from him saying that his Xbox didn't work. Now, I'm going to tell you how you protect yourself against these motherfucking bastards. If you are dumb enough to buy an Xbox, buy it from Best Buy. The reason I say that is because they have the best warranties. If you buy it from Walmart and your shit takes a dump and you try to take it back to Walmart and it's got a warranty, they're going to tell you to go through their third-party, company that handles their warranties. And we already know how that's going to turn out. Target, I don't know anything about, whether they offer warranties or how their policies work. I don't know shit about that. But I do know about Best Buy. If you ever get dumb enough to buy an Xbox, buy it from Best Buy and buy a 3-year warranty. Because every time Microsoft seems to put out some bullshit, it seems to take them 2 or 3 years to finally get the problem corrected. Now, the reason why the Best Buy warranty is the best warranty is because they don't, if your shit break, you bring it back to them, tell them your shit broke, and they'll just say, okay, just go in the back and grab another one. And that's the end of it. No questions. You grab your shit, they'll scan it out, give you your receipt, basically saying that it's a replacement model or whatever, and that's it. You walk out the door. Sure enough, I bought my brother a 360 core, the one that didn't have the hard drive, and I gave him like a 16 gig flash drive to plug into it because I knew he wasn't going to be buying a bunch of games, so he did not need a lot of space. Sure enough, that fucking thing caught the red rings. I grabbed it because, you know, since I bought the game, the warranty was in my, since I bought the console, the warranty was in my name. I took it back to Best Buy, told them the shit caught the red rings. They said, okay, go in the back, get another one. That was the end of it. I'd recommend that you don't buy that shit. And this is why I truly think that the Xbox Scarlett is going to come out in 2019. I don't know if they'll get their shit out before Sony, but I know they're going to try their damnedest because they know that the traditional console is not going to sell. So with that being said, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft, hey, don't you do that, sick. You going to Walmart after work and picking up an Xbox One X. Unless you buying that shit to destroy it with a hammer like you originally said you would, and you're going to film yourself doing it, do not fuck with that shit. But I said it before, you know, I know you fucking with me, but if you feel that way about it, buy that shit from Best Buy and get the warranty because you will not go through any bullshit. What the hell was that? Where the fuck is my phone? I just heard it. You think Microsoft is great? All right, sick if you say so. Oh boy, I think Microsoft is great too at releasing broken shit. So, with this being said, I tried not to say it because I didn't want people to jump in here and saying that I'm bashing at Microsoft and what the whoop. But I'm telling y'all, Scarlett is going to be Microsoft's one last fuck you for the road. The general belief is that we are just not far enough along yet that streaming can be seamless. The bottom line is the worse your internet, the more fucked up your experience is going to be. And Microsoft claims they cracked the Da Vinci Code on that shit. Fuck no, I don't believe that. You can't even build a conventional console right. So how the fuck you going to be able to build a streaming console right? Especially when it's a field that nobody has seen the master. When the data's being transferred in one direction, there's no problem. You know, that's why you're going to suffer a little bit of buffering on Netflix and shit like that. But when data's going back and forth and shit like that, fuck no, that shit ain't, you know, fuck no. I just do not think Microsoft going to be able to make that shit work right. With that being said, this is Microsoft's last big fuck you for the road. And that's why I think Microsoft is going to try to break their neck to get that streaming console out before the PS5 comes out. Because, you know, a launch price and timing is going to be everything for the streaming console. My guess is if they think they can get this shit out the box before the PS5, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft tries to price this streaming console at $250. But if the PS5 gets out first, especially if it launches at $400, Microsoft would probably have to price this fucking streaming console at $150 or even $100 to even have a chance to even put a scratch on, you know, on the PS5 sales. But I promise you, if they release this streaming console after the PS5 and this shit is $250 or $300, it will be DOA. Microsoft has demonstrated in the past they make no bones about releasing a broken product, and they make no bones about pricing the shit at $500. It is almost a given to me that the streaming console will not run right. Because the capabilities for that shit just isn't there yet. And you also combine that with a company that has a reputation for releasing broken shit. This is a disastrous experience waiting to happen with the streaming console. Sick, man. I don't know none of that shit that you talking about, man. More powerful than a 2080 Ti SELI with Intel 9th generation CPU with, you know, motherfucking 4K texture. I don't know none of that shit, sick. I don't. You might as well hand me a Chinese menu because I don't know none of that shit. The streaming shit, it's just not Microsoft. I just don't think they can make this shit work right yet. But they're going to lie to you and tell you that they figured it out when they haven't. They said it in that fucking video, that cloud gaming video that they said it. They said, when this shit runs right, you're going to have a great experience. That right there is not ready yet. They said it right there. They said when it runs right, when it's ready. The shit is not running right, and it probably will not run right. But since this is their last hurrah, and this is their last big fuck you for the road, they will have no problem releasing this shit broken. And I promise you, when they release that shit and everybody jump up talking about how it doesn't run right, you are not going to hear a peep out of Microsoft until it's time to sell the next item. Until it's time to sell the next controller. The Xbox One X makes the same fame different with the same assets and data. That's over my head too. And then as far as the you know, One Stop for Gamers, he said something that made me think. He said there ain't gonna be no Xbox Scarlett. He thinks they ain't gonna release it. Because he said they already released their next gen console with the Xbox One X. I agree with him to an extent. They are going to release this streaming console. That is going to be Scarlett. The traditional console, they probably just spent a ton of money developing the Xbox One X. I can't see how they would just like start from the ground up again and just spend billions of dollars developing a total another console with this Scarlett shit. Microsoft even said it, that the next generation, they're going to focus on performance. They ain't say nothing about teraflops of power. They didn't say nothing about what kind of, you know, what kind of benchmark they're aiming for in terms of power. They didn't say none of that shit. And they admitted that, you know, with the Xbox One X, that, you know, performance was an issue. They admitted this shit after the fucking facts. Now, do you really think all the money they spent developing the Xbox One X and the problems that it had, that they just go turn around and and just brush that aside, go back to the drawing board, start from scratch and spend another $1 billion developing a totally another different traditional console with double the power of the X? Without all the frame drops and screen tearing? Hell, fuck ass no. Ice Queen Gaming, how you doing? No. You're going to have two consoles, the streaming console and the traditional console for Scarlett. And I'm telling y'all, that traditional console is actually the Xbox One X in disguise. It's going to be the Xbox One X with the name Scarlett on it. I'm convinced it's probably going to have, give or take, around the same amount of power. It's just going to have a better CPU in it. So you ain't going to have all them damn problems. Ice Queen Gaming, I put a link in the description. Griffin Gaming got burned by Microsoft. I put a link in the description. And, you know, I would say just go ahead and check out the video. And you'll see why I feel the way I do about Microsoft. They got to go. And that's the only thing that I can say that I'm glad about Scarlett, is that the general belief is it's going to be their last console. And once it comes out, the celebration can officially begin. and they will be done as far as consoles go. You know, so the day that Scarlett releases, hell, I might even make a video wearing like those, you know, New Year's party favors with the hats and shit like that, and blowing all them damn horns with that rollout paper that stretches out when you blow the damn horn and shit like that, whatever those fucking things is called. I might make that type of video because the celebration officially begins. And when Microsoft officially announces that they are no longer producing consoles, I will dance with glee. I said it before. I might run through downtown, butt ass, throwing flowers and dollar bills up into the air. Because an evil company will have limited access to the public once they stop making consoles. Or when they stop making consoles, once Microsoft stops making consoles and they go straight to cloud gaming, and they go strictly to subscription based shit, they're not going to be able to sell their product by throwing dirt on Sony's name. They're going to have to sell their shit on its own merit. They're not going to be able to, get you to buy a Game Pass subscription by throwing dirt on Sony's name. They're going to have to get you to buy a Game Pass subscription based on the content that's in there. And one thing's for certain, if they, moving forward in the next generation, if they want to sell these Game Pass subscriptions, they shows the fuck better come with some better shit than Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, and a bunch of old-ass 360 games. Halo Storm, Microsoft is bad for the industry. They are bad for gaming. They set really bad standards, and when they get away, when they do anti-consumer practices and they get away from it, and they get away with it, then other companies get tempted to follow suit. Microsoft, I said it before, they have no problems with releasing broken products in order to get the jump on the competition. When it comes to operating system, their Windows operating systems dominate the market. The majority of computers have a Windows operating system on it, and that runs like shit when they get it. It takes years of them putting fucking updates through that shit for the shit to finally run right. And then when it finally does start running right, they announce a new operating system that starts out buggy and broken, and you got to go through another 6-7 years of updates. Ice Queen Gaming, do you think you should sell your Xbox One? Because I don't play on it much, and you have a PlayStation. Now, that's a catchy one. Because, see, Ice Queen Gaming, I have an Xbox One, and I also have a PS4 Pro. I'm hanging on to my Xbox One until it dies. When it dies, then I will be completely out of the Microsoft ecosystem. I'm hanging on to my Xbox One for two reasons. One is because I game share with my son. We play Gears of War together. So that's one reason why I keep my Xbox One. The other one is it is the vanilla OG one, the OG Xbox One. I wouldn't get shit for it if I tried to sell it on the street. I'd be lucky to get $100 for it. So what if it never dies? Then I guess I will continue to watch YouTube on it and play Gears with my son on it, because that's all it's going to be used for. If my son does not contact me and ask me to play Gears of War 4 with him, all I do on that Xbox is watch YouTube and the ESPN app. I don't play games on it. What if Xbox lasts forever? Sick, you make it sound like I wake up in the morning hoping that motherfucking Xbox One catch the red rings of death or just brick or quit on me. I wouldn't exactly say that. But if I wake up in the morning and it takes a dump on me, I wouldn't be sad. I've already. Microsoft is fantastic. All right, old dog. I have spoken to my son and I have explained to him that I have no intentions to buy another Xbox again. And I also warned him that when my Xbox One takes a dump, that will conclude my association with the Xbox brand. Cyber Dragon, what's up? Spartan God, what if you frame Microsoft for hacking Sony and Sony sues them and wins? Hey, it'd be a great victory. It would be a great victory for Sony. And it would be a great victory for their fan base. If I was really about that life, I would donate it to a children's hospital. As like I said, Sick, you know, if I wasn't playing Gears of War 4 with my son, it would have been gone a long time ago. But make no mistake about it, when it takes a crap, I'm done. Part of my son's Xbox experience is playing games with me. You know, my son calls me about 2-3 times a week. What are you doing? Oh, I'm at home. You know, it was like, do you want to play Gears with me? I'm like, okay, you know, let me do this, let me do that. What if Microsoft actually makes some good games and then your Xbox dies? I could pose that same question to you, Sick. What if they do make some great games? Because you sold, you know what, Sick? Hey, you know what? Hey, you nearly got me, Sick. You almost got me. You almost got me. You almost got me. Here's my solution. If Microsoft actually makes some good games and then my Xbox dies, I build a PC. You nearly got me, Sick. You almost got me. You know, Spartan God, the OG Xbox is one of the best consoles ever made. Real talk. But even with that console, Microsoft showed signs of being greedy with the DVD playback kit. On the PS2, you could use the PS2 controller as your remote for the DVD player, whereas Microsoft forced you to buy a playback kit. There was a scanner that plugged in one of the controller ports and came with a remote. They could have took the same route that Sony did and just allowed you to use a controller as a remote, but instead they forced you to buy that DVD playback kit for $40. I remember that because I bought one. Other than that shit, and other than you know, forcing you to submit a credit card in order to get on Xbox Live, other than those two factors, the OG Xbox is one of the best consoles ever. Do I think Griffin Gaming will go to PlayStation or stay with Microsoft? I think that now he sent his Xbox back. He went ahead and sent it in, and he's waiting for it to come back. I say you sue Microsoft for loitering, Lincoln. Now, Queen, I think what's going to happen with Griffin is I think when he gets his Xbox One X back, I think he'll stay with the Xbox as long as his Xbox One X stays alive. Once that takes a dump, I think he'll probably, if he doesn't already have a PC, I think he'll go to PC gaming. You know, I'm sure just like anybody else, he probably has, you know, a PS4 and in his, you know, and he probably only uses it for exclusives. I don't know. So you say, hey, sick right there. You said Griffin will stay with Xbox. The fate outrageous for views, brother. Hey, something in my gut is telling me that you're right, sick. Because I mean, even MBG, Muscle Bound Gamers, he said that that he can't do this shit no more, that he can't, corporate slave for Microsoft anymore and watch all these great games passing by on the PlayStation. So he gonna get a PlayStation and start playing some of these PlayStation games and blah, blah, blah. But, but now that he done got these games, he been giving them average reviews. You know what I mean? He gave God of War a great review, but like the Uncharted 4, he gave that like an average review. And I think Uncharted 4 is one of the best games of this generation, from a single player standpoint, from a story standpoint. I think Uncharted 4 is one of the best games this generation. Danny Rua is the Messiah, and his blue robe of truth will save us all. Well, if the Messiah in the blue robe of truth can save us, my idea of saving us is if he can hasten the exit of the Xbox brand. Gaming wise, they not getting out of gaming. I know that. They got too much bread. You ain't getting them out of, you can't get them out of gaming completely. But now that the truth has come out about their numbers, about how many consoles they sold this generation, more like 34 million. Now that we know the truth about how they lied about how many consoles they sold the previous generation, how they were counting 360 Red Rings of Death consoles as sales, now that we know that. And then the first generation with the OG Xbox, they only sold about 24 million. And to me, that wasn't because of, from what I can see, that wasn't about the box selling poorly. It was about using that Xbox to set up the 360. So, they tried to cut the support of the OG Xbox short. Twisted said, what's up? They tried to cut the support short of the OG Xbox to try to force everybody to upgrade to the 360. Now that the Xbox brand ain't selling what the fuck this generation, they dipping back into the 360, and they brainwashed everybody else. The Xbox to dip back into the 360, to dip back into the past with them. All that shit they talked about Sony at the beginning of the generation about how the PlayStation only had indie games and all this kind of shit. And here they go dipping back, losing their fucking minds over 360 games. Every time they make an announcement for Game Pass and do a fucking Inside the Xbox show to announce a new fucking a 360 game coming back to their platform. J-Dub is free, Danny Ruiz, so all is good. Shout out to Wells Fargo. They sent me $3,000 bonus for IT work I did back in December on 2017. Well, shit, I'll shout you out if you send me 500 of that. Ice Queen Gaming, what Sony has done this year has been greatness. Not just this year, last year too. Damn. That $3,000 bonus looks so nice that I damn near want to type my PayPal in there and look at my phone. It says funds received from Penn of Sick Humor TV in the amount of $500 US. Oh shit. But my focus isn't on this console war. These diluted, toxic ass Xbots ain't never gonna let this shit die. No matter how many ass whoopers they take, they never gonna shut their fucking mouth. The YouTubers that lie and spread propaganda all over YouTube, they're gonna continue to do their shit no matter what. Sick, you said I'm gonna be Microsoft's little marketing bitch so I can get more YouTube views. Oh man. What a disappointment. But no, serious shit. Sick, are we gonna do the PlayStation Plus podcast in the morning? Said then you're gonna play like you mad so you can get PlayStation fans on your side. I ain't gonna lie. I did personally message Griffin Gaming. And I did tell him, now you found out the hard way why I want Microsoft gone, So I mean, hey, it's his outrage sounded good. I don't know how really he is about it, but it still sounded good. Wanye Tudor, what is up? Just sick is on his shit right now. Keep trolling. Keep trolling. Rawhide. Well, either way, believe me when I tell y'all, I want Microsoft gone from the hardware business. I don't care if they hang around making games. Because when they no longer make consoles, like I said, whatever it is they're trying to sell, they'll have to sell it on its own merit. They'll have to sell it based on the game actually being good, instead of talking about what features the PlayStation don't have. Daylight savings times tonight, I believe so. So. Oh boy. I said I was going to return that Red Dead Redemption back to the video game store tonight. I'm still debating on trying to at least play this shit far enough that I can get out of the mountains. Because people say that the game picks up once you get out of the mountains. So I'm debating on whether to hang on to the shit one more night. Sick, you said Microsoft never made games. However you determine that, I will say some of my favorite games were Microsoft exclusives on the OG Xbox. Lynx, that golfing game was phenomenal. That to this very day is still the best golfing game I have ever played. It was way better than Tiger Woods shit. Also like Crimson Skies, that was a good exclusive. Mech Assault, boy, did I love that game. So, truth be told, Crimson Skies, Lynx, and Mech Assault, I don't know who developed them because I didn't pay attention to that shit back then. All I know is when you pop the game in, it said Microsoft Studios. Yeah, Twisted Sin, Mech Assault was the shit. Hey, I like Crimson Skies. Sick. I didn't like it near as much as Mech Assault, but back then during the OG Xbox, other than 2K, other than the 2K game, A lot of my games was Microsoft exclusives on the OG Xbox. Jemiah Dixon, hey, you go take a nap and dude is back on this motherfucker live. um, you know what? I think I have to be honest, Sick. If Microsoft was to bring back MechAssault, I can't say that I would buy it. But I will say that I would go rent it just so I could have a look at it. If they brought back Lynx, I know I wouldn't buy it because, you know, once Tiger Woods fell off, golf games to me don't sell the way they did, you know, when Tiger Woods was on the cover of the golf game. You know, once his game fell off and that all that shit came out, you know, golf didn't seem to be, as far as the video game standpoint was, it didn't seem to be as big as it was, you know, when Tiger Woods was on the cover. So if Microsoft brought back Lynx, I would take a look at it, but I know I wouldn't buy it. Crimson Skies, if Microsoft bought that back, I probably wouldn't buy it or rent it. I'd probably just watch somebody shit on YouTube just to have a look at it. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. You know, my voice is getting a little scratchy from the ranting. But you know, again, a friendly reminder to everyone that if you are dumb enough to buy an Xbox, make sure you buy it from Best Buy and make sure you get a warranty with it. When I bought my son's Xbox One X, there was no way I was going to buy that console without a warranty. 360 had the red rings of death. The OG Xbox One had problems at launch. And at the time that I paid off my son's Xbox One X, I feared that there might be problems with it. So I bought a 3-year warranty for his Xbox One X when I bought it. You want to talk about Atari? Sick? E.T. Game of the Century? Sick, I barely remember playing that game because I was a teenager on the Atari 2600. I barely remember playing that. You know, and as I said in my earlier podcast, back then when I had an Atari 2600, you know, other than me, you know, pulling a jack move on this dude and taking these Atari games off of him, the only time I got games was when my parents bought them for me for Christmas because they didn't buy them for us throughout the year. So with that being said, you know, when the Atari 5200 came along, the only games I had for the Atari 5200, I had Pac-Man because that was a game that it came with the console. I had Pac-Man, and my parents had bought us Pole Position for Christmas because at the time, Pole Position was the hot racing game. You know, nobody had ever seen anything like it. As crazy as that shit looked, it was the best graphics of a game at that time. And I had a 007 game. And I think I had the very first Mario Brothers. Because the very first Mario Brothers, still, like, you were walking across these steel beams and basically you were trying to drop these steel beams on top of Donkey Kong's head. That was the first Mario Brothers game that I remember. And I had that on the 5200. You know, while you was trying to drop these beams on Donkey Kong's head, you had like these turtles and shit like that coming after you, and you had to like jump on top of them to flip them upside down, and then kind of like kick them off the beams. You said you used to steal games from Blockbuster. Hey, hell no, I ain't gonna judge you. You heard me say that a dude used to steal games, and I used to take them from him and not pay him. Shit, if you stole games back then, I wish I knew you back then so I could have bought them off you. Oh, dog, you said Sea of Trash graphics is better than Red Dead 2? Oh, hey, I said it before. Red Dead 2 is a great looking game, but I don't think it's the best looking game I've ever seen. You said you was trolling, but you a bully. Twister said, what do I think about the Medieval remake? I really don't know nothing about that game. Now, here's the thing about it. I never had a PlayStation 2. So I do not know a lot about the games of that generation. Players United, what's up? But I did see like a split screen of what the old Medieval looked like and what the new one looks like. It's cool, but I don't know nothing about that game. So, I mean, hey, if anybody want to holler at that game, I can't knock them. Because there's definitely some games that I would love to see get remade. Like the Shenmue 1 and 2. I wish it would have got the Shadow of the Colossus treatment. I wish it would have been a remake. Instead of them just doing whatever they did to it, I guess, put some, I guess they put some turtle wax on it. But I wish Shenmue 1 and 2, I wish they would have got a remake the way Shadow of the Colossus did. Because I definitely would have bought that, even with the same mechanics. But I'm still going to get Shenmue 3 when it launches. I seen, the couple of trailers that I've seen of the game. Graphically, it did not look that good, but I want closure to the story. I want closure to the Shenmue saga. So I'll buy it when it comes out. I'll buy it day one. And so if that game would have been, if Shenmue 3 would have released this year, it would have got caught in a stranglehold. It would have got caught in between too many games for that shit to, for the game to reach its full potential. He said, wow, Lincoln, you're a good father. I hope you meant father, old dog. You said what? You made the host rage quit? Did you glitch? Did you use a glitch?
I was about to, but one of my teammates was trying to kill me.
You were about to use a glitch.
Yes. Well, one of my teammates was trying to kill me.
Okay.
So I failed to do it.
Wow.
But I made the host rage quit. So now I'm kicked out of the match since the host left.
So you're disappointed that the host quit and you didn't get a chance to use a glitch.
Anyway, I used it enough times.
Maybe that's why he quit. All right, folks. I'm sure you guys caught a lot of that conversation. That's just, I guess that's just kids these days. It is what it is. Said Lincoln need to be arrested for child abuse for introducing his son to Xbox. You know what's sick? There was no way I was going to be able to avoid my son getting turned on to Gears of War because my son was born in 2006, in May of 2006. And if memory serves me right, the first Gears of War released in February of 2006. That game set the bar with graphics. That still remains to one of the best games ever. the original Gears of War. That still remains one of my favorite games. Now, when my son was about 4 years old, he took the cover. He might have been 4 or 5 years old. He took the cover of Gears of War 2, and he drew that cover with a bunch of stick people. But every single detail, your son was born. See, my son was born on Mother's Day. He was born May 14th, 2006. He was born on Mother's Day. Now, as I was saying, when he was about 4 or 5 years old, he took the cover of Gears of War 2 and he drew a bunch of stick people on there. But even though it was a bunch of stick people, every single detail that was on that cover was in his drawing. Right on down to the Gears of War, right on down to that COG logo that was on Marcus's bandana that he wore on his head. Whatever that little logo was, it was in my son's drawing, even if it was just a little square with nothing in it. You know, the teeth on the Lancer, everything, every little detail that was on the cover of Gears of War 2 was on his picture. And God, I wish I knew where that drawing was. You know, I'll have to comb every single inch of this apartment and try to see if it's in some of the boxes from, you know, this tucked away from our previous apartment. But with that being said, it was no way around it. He was going to get turned on to Gears of War, because even when he was 3 years old and he'd see me playing Gears, he would try to take the controller from me. And when I didn't want to give it to him, he would scream and throw a wild fit. So what I would do was I would take a 360 controller and take the batteries out of it and give it to him, let him stand there and act like he was playing, you know, Gears of War. So even when he got old enough, you know, yeah, I mean, I admit it, sick. I created a monster with my son, you know, turning him on to video games. Now he gets good grades in school. You know, he got all A's and a B on his latest report card. But you know, when he's not in school, he games quite a bit. And I created that monster. If Xbox leaves, I'm suing Sega for Elder Scrolls Online. So there was no way, you know, and even when I gave my son, I gave him my Dreamcast, which was a bad move. I gave him my Dreamcast at 4 years old. Yeah, he is. He's incredibly smart. I gave him my Dreamcast, the collector's edition, the black one. I gave him that at 4 years old. He destroyed it. It's not a smart move. You don't give a kid that young a console. And then like even when I gave him Wii's and Wii U's and even when I gave him a 360 with kids games on it, like the Toy Story games, he was still watching me play Gears of War. So there was no way around it. He was going to get turned on to Gears. Now it's almost like don't no other game exists to him except Gears and Roblox.
I'm playing Gears.
And he absolutely can't wait for Gears 5 to come out. Oh, Twisted Sin, thanks for that reminder about the Tetris effect. Because the game comes out on the 9th. So I think the demo is only good through this weekend. Thanks for the reminder. So I'm going to make sure I play some more of that Tetris effect tonight. Because it's cool. I just, you know, if I looked at that shit right at the PlayStation Store, it's $35 if you pre-order it, but it's $40 normally priced. No dice there. That's one game that I'll have to wait till it comes down to $20. I'm not dropping no $35 for that. But it's still cool to play it in VR. It's still some neat effects though. And so thanks for the reminder. Matter of fact, I might even stream it. Hell, what the hell? Because I need to stream something different anyway, instead of the same old Creed, Astrobot, and Firewall. I need to do something different. So maybe I'll go ahead and stream that Tetris demo. EJ Johnson, that is my thought, that it is only worth $5. I'm willing to pay 20 for it because of the VR aspect of it. But 35, 40 bucks, that's nuts. One second, everybody. I will be right back. I'm going to pour myself a glass of ginger ale. Be right back. All right, folks, I'm back. All right, Twisted Sin, I see you got to go. Hey, thanks for popping by. I appreciate it. Which I'll be getting ready to take off pretty soon myself. It's time to get some gaming in. I haven't played shit yet today. It's time to get some gaming in. And yeah, I think I might go ahead and do that. I think I might go ahead and stream that Tetris Effect. It'll be a change of pace. Away from the normal GT Sport, Astrobot, Creed, Firewall. Yeah, I think that'd be a good change of pace. So with that being said, I'm gonna get ready to wrap this up. You said the Lincoln Clay Effect. The Lincoln Clay Effect title, the stream by that. All right. Okay, I just might do that. The Lincoln Clay Effect. I just might do that. But I definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in. And I also want to remind everybody to make sure you tune in to the PlayStation Plus podcast tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. I will do my best to be on time, but if I do not have it, I got to remember to you need to change my name to Mr. VR. It should. I mean, there's a lot bigger YouTubers than me that are advocates for VR, but I think I'm the biggest advocate of VR on a hood level, on the crumb side level. But yeah, make sure y'all tune into the PlayStation Plus podcast tomorrow morning. I will do my best to try to remember to set my damn alarm and try to wake up on time so I can get to this podcast on time. But I will definitely be there tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all tune in. It's always a great time at the PlayStation Plus podcast. Sick is he's a great host, and it's always a good podcast. And I love how he always has clips of other games, running in the background. I'll probably, Player United. I'm not the crumb side in terms of, I think in terms from a toxicity standpoint, but I'm probably the crumb side in terms of my notoriety and how many subscribers I got, because anybody who's a bigger advocate of VR than me are people that has like thousands of subscribers. I'm probably the biggest advocate of VR for a person that has less than 1,000 subscribers. And that's kind of what I meant by the crumb side. Oh, that was ice cold and delicious. Hey, but I appreciate it, Players United. I really do. I really do appreciate it. Yes, theirs is great. Lincoln VR. You know, I did not plan that. It just happened. You know, I went from doing the Lincoln show to doing these live, you know, doing these podcasts like I'm doing now, to slowly working my way into this VR thing. And now I play so much VR, I almost don't really mess with, you know, standard games that much anymore because I play so much VR. So you know I'm gonna lose my damn mind when, you know, when the next generation starts for what they had planned for VR. You know I'm gonna lose my mind. Say, oh dog, you have a 360, Xbox One S, and PS3 and PS4. What do you think my kids are playing? PS4 all day. I even play my PS4 till they go to bed. Yeah, Griffin got burned, Jaku. You know, but the thing about it is I'm leaning towards agreeing with Sick, you know, if I don't know, whereas I'm not sure just how genuine his outrage is. But I'm speaking for him about what kind of company Microsoft is. You know, even if he don't mean it, I'm still speaking for him. But you know, hey, if he continues to fuck with the Xbox after this, he knows what he's getting himself into. That's about all I can say. I mean, I sent them a message. I sent them a message and even offered, you know, to have him come on the show as a guest. I was going to wait a couple of days for a response for him, but I decided to go ahead and do this podcast today because there's going to be a lot of shit going on tomorrow. You know, we got the PlayStation Plus podcast. You got Puerto Rock and Zaire, who normally do digital streets. You know, Vieratron is, you know, having her first podcast tomorrow at 4:00 Eastern. And then, you know, and then that's not, you know, we don't know if, you know, if One Stop might slip something in. So it's going to be a very busy day tomorrow. So, so if I didn't get this in today, I might not have been able to get it in. You said Christopher Hart, you want to love Red Dead 2. But if you see another live stream of people fishing, you might not even check it out. I don't blame you. I mean, again, it's not a bad game, but so my son just opened an elite pack on Gears of War.
I bought it with credits.
In-game credits?
Yes.
And did you get what you were looking for?
Well, I was only opening a like bounty thing.
What were you looking for?
Anyway, I'm not gonna buy more.
No, what were you looking for when you opened that pack? What were you hoping to get? Do you know what these are? You didn't answer my question. What were you hoping to get when you bought that elite pack?
I was hoping to get one of these.
What is that?
These are like perks for hard mode.
Did you get it?
Well, I haven't checked yet because you stopped me in the process.
No, you just opened the pack right there in front of me, and you acted as if you did not get what you were looking for. Well, I put it like this. If you got what you were looking for, I suspect you would have told me.
Okay, I got what I'm looking for.
All right, then that solves that. Oh, dog, yes, you need a pro. Jakku, those that's played this Dungeon Travelers 2 and City of the Sword Stranger never heard him. He said I stopped him in the process. Well, he opened the pack, Sick, and he, you know, his body language, and he acted as if he didn't get what he was looking for. You know, that after the interrogation process, I guess he finally did say he got what he was looking for.
I did not remember. Oh my.
So, all right, y'all, let me get on out of here. It's time to do some gaming. Got all the podcasts out of my system for the night. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to go ahead and stream the Tetris Effect. You know, even if it's only for 20 minutes. You know, yeah, Christopher Harris, that's what kids do exactly. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. Give it a like. You know, I really appreciate y'all coming by. Y'all the greatest, man. I swear to God, y'all so cool. And y'all always keep shit hot. Y'all always keep the conversation going with the conversations you had in the chat. Y'all the best chat out there. I really mean that. I will holler at y'all later. For those who want to come check me out on the Tetris stream, I'll see y'all when I get on. And for the rest of y'all make sure y'all check us out tomorrow on the PlayStation Plus podcast. And with that being said, this is your boy Lincoln Clay. Give it a like. Lock the door on your way out. Thanks for coming to Wakanda. I will holler at y'all later.